Okay, so today we're talking about winter camping. I've got some real simple, real easy, helpful tips, just basic stuff, but I think a lot of you guys are maybe camping for the first time because you clicked on this video. Good job. So proud of you for winter camping. Look at you. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Actually, wait. We got something to talk about real fast. If you're not a subscriber of the channel, make sure you become a subscriber of the channel. You may be getting videos in your feed, but you're not subscribed. That would help me out a ton. Click the subscribe button, click the bell notification. Okay, we got that out of the way. Let's jump into the tips. Okay, number one, drink as much water as you possibly can, even when you're winter camping and winter hiking. You may not realize it, but you are getting dehydrated. My big issue that I've had winter camping has been bad headaches and getting dehydrated. And I don't even realize it until like after I've already started to get that headache, and it just makes the whole experience really miserable. You are losing moisture out of your body, especially when you're breathing. That's where you get the steam coming out of your mouth. And that's what happens when you wake up in your tent and it's full of condensation. Where do you think that moisture came from? So drink more water. And when you don't think you're sweating, you actually are sweating. It's just leaving your clothing in your body quicker because it's just evaporating into dry air. So drink that water, drink way more than you think. It will help you out a ton. Number two kind of goes with number one, is pay attention to the mileage for your hike. It's gonna make a big deal for a couple reasons. One, it's gonna help you to not sweat as much when you're hiking and you're not gonna have to work as hard. Two, in winter locations, a lot of times trail maintenance doesn't really happen. So there's things like blowdowns where trees are coming down across trails, or just nature happens and trail maintenance doesn't get out to it in time, or they've just shut down trail maintenance altogether because of the season and they can't get to where you're trying to get through. So you're gonna have to figure out a way over, under, around, bushwhack, whatever. It's gonna add to your trip and it's gonna cause a lot more energy exertion. And when there's snow on the ground, that doesn't help either. Oh, and speaking of snow, prepare for snow, especially the further north you go if you're heading north to go winter camping. I can't tell you how many times where it hasn't been snowing where I live, but I drive just an hour north and I didn't realize it had snowed there already, even though snow wasn't in the forecast, and now I'm stuck having to tromp through a foot of snow. The next tip is add another layer to your winter clothing layering system. So typical backpackers will have a base layer, just like a shirt or a t-shirt or something, and they'll bring along a mid layer for when it gets cooler, and then they'll have their top layer along with a hard shell, like a puffy jacket, and then maybe a raincoat or something to put over the top of that. And all that stuff is great to bring backpacking, but consider bringing one extra layer along with you, just in case it gets really cold. And don't be afraid of like the cotton sweatshirt. And I know a lot of people complain about cotton, but in the wintertime it can actually be a little bit warmer if you don't have access to, say, fleece or merino wool or something like that, and you're just like, I don't want to go out and buy something else. Grab the cotton sweatshirt. It's not gonna hurt you out there. It's not gonna kill you. It does hold moisture in, but I'm sort of giving you permission to not have to spend a ton of money on some layering. The other thing that you can do is double up, say, jackets. So maybe you've only got access to thinner jackets. Well, you can double them up. And that actually is a cool thing, because it's a cool thing. It's not really cool. It works sometimes a little bit better because you can regulate the temperature a little better. You don't have to bring a really thick, puffy jacket and then get really hot, or take it off and all of a sudden you're really cold. There's like not that, mid temperature that works well for you, but doubling up jackets can actually help you do that. And so bringing an extra layer or even two extra layers is something I highly recommend. Another tip is when you're cooking, your fuel will act differently. So make sure you bring way more fuel than you think. So if you've got a small canister like this that you're planning on hooking up your canister stove to for the winter, because that's maybe all you've got, that's fine. We'll get into fuel in a second and how it works in the winter, but this small can for me probably wouldn't work well in winter, especially if I'm planning on, let's say, boiling snow for water. I'm gonna want to have something much bigger, especially for that reason. When you're boiling snow and you grab the snow and you put it in your pot and you turn on your canister stove and you turn on your fuel and you start to boil it, it does not bring as much water as you'd think it would. So you're gonna need a lot of snow and a lot of fuel to boil what is going to seem like a small amount of water to be sufficient to cook or to drink or for whatever your needs are out there. And just remember that a lot of those streams and lakes may be frozen over, so boiling that ice or snow may be your only option for having water. Now, If you are planning on using a canister stove like this, I would just warn you that anything below freezing temperatures is gonna make this difficult to use. However, it's not impossible. You can use this, but you've gotta warm it up. In other words, you gotta like put it in your pocket or rub it with your hands or give it a few minutes of just heating it up in order for this to produce a flame, because the contents of this actually change when it's cold and it just doesn't do well below freezing. So what you can do is use an alcohol stove if you've got access to an alcohol stove. And there's tons of videos online of even how to make an easy alcohol stove, but these do really well in cold weather down to sub-zero temperatures. So you can use these, but again, you're gonna have to use a lot of fuel, and these, I would argue, take a lot more fuel because they typically take a lot longer and are a lot more finicky with weather. So just keep that in mind, but at least managing the flame and using the fuel is gonna be a lot easier with an alcohol stove. Okay, and my last tip for you guys before you head out on your amazing winter camping or backpacking or hiking or whatever trip you are going to be heading out on is use a closed cell foam sleeping pad in conjunction with your air pad. So most backpackers are going to be using an air pad even in the winter time because they're the most comfortable. And if you are one of those backpackers, one of your concerns is your air mattress isn't going to be warm enough, especially if you're clicking on this video and you're new to winter camping and backpacking. So you can increase the warmth of that sleeping pad by putting a closed cell foam pad. And you can get these very inexpensively online or at Walmart or somewhere else, and just lay it across the top of your sleeping pad, and that's going to bring up that warmth. It's going to increase the R value. You can put it underneath if you like. I seem to have better experience when it's on top, but to each his own. But that will increase the warmth underneath you when you're trying to sleep at night, because underneath you is something that a lot of people don't think about, especially in the winter. They don't realize how that cold ground can literally suck that heat right out of you. All right, I hope you guys like these really simple, helpful, hopefully helpful tips for you guys. If you guys have more tips, I would love to hear them and see them in the comments below. Also, I do have an Instagram. I will put that right here for you guys so you can follow me over on Instagram. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. Also subscribe for more. Hit the bell notification so that I can send you a video every time it's released. And I will see you on the next one.